There's no scientifically coherent way to classify, categorize, or divide any particle from any other particle in the entire known universe. This includes scientists with their microscopes and their measuring devices. This is a quote from Jacob Bohm, one of the founders of quantum theory. There's no possible way to scientifically, in a coherent fashion, differentiate and say that is not that, and this is not that, which shockingly is the same thing that this handsome gentleman behind me and all teachers who came after him have something to say about. This whole thing is one infinitely elegant, infinitely co-arising, codependent. It means something different in relationships, but dependent, co-arising process together. It's one thing arising together. So all of these and more, like for instance, nibbana. The word nibbana, which in Sanskrit of course is nirvana. I'm sure there's people in the room who have an etymology they like about nibbana, or one that they've heard. So one of the classic etymologies is given when the Buddha was trying to describe, the point of all this sitting quietly stuff and living an ethical and kind life. He said, nibbana is like when a flame goes out, when a fire goes out. And it's an illustration showing that when the mind grabs on to an object of awareness, something that's desired or something that's despised, the mind and the object get locked in this like battle to the death. In the same way that if a log or a piece of wood catches fire, it'll burn and burn and burn until both are extinguished. The Buddha in this, talking about nibbana, using this figure of speech in nibbana, was trying to say, hey, you can just let it go. The mind can just let it go. What happens when you release that burning, that clinging? And if anyone in the room is like me, whatever the thing is that I'm chewing on or burning up with, desire or anxiety or anger, it feels like burning. In fact, one of the meanings of nibbana that's given in the ancient etymology is, it's like what happens when a person who is struck with fever, when their fever breaks. The feverishness goes away. There's cooling, there's settling. An etymology about nibbana is given that it's like in a pot of vegetables on a fire. When you take it off the fire and it stops boiling and all the vegetables start to settle. It's like our insides. We start to cool and settle and gather and rest. So there's countless metaphors and similes because these things that we're trying to talk about, awareness, attention, clarity, equanimity, these are slippery, especially when you start to talk about kind of pure awareness kind of stuff, like Buddha nature or Buddha mind. There's ordinary consciousness, like I'm looking at this object, my awareness is grabbing hold of this object, I'm looking at it, and I'm turning around and I'm looking at it. But what was awareness doing before the object? So when the ancients, when the Dharma ancestors were trying to talk to their students about ways of kind of conceptualizing, trying to bridge the gap between conceptual knowledge, between subject-object kind of knowing and kind of non-dual preconceptual knowledge, they would use metaphors and similes. And so today's talk is called The Mirror, the Sea, and the Sky, or some order therein, I might have screwed it up. And these are three figures of speech that come up again and again and again in various traditions, but especially in the two traditions known as Dzogchen and Mahamudra. These are like the preferred, the figures of speech par excellence. So the power of these three images lie in the ways they can kind of invite us to resist getting tangled up or tied up or maybe frustrated with what's going on in the mind or the heart while we sit, and also just in our ordinary everyday life. They also are powerful in the way that they can help us resist the temptation to look at awareness or awakening or enlightenment, whatever you want to call it, as some far-off distant goal. It's like saying, hey, you know what the mirror is like. You've seen mirrors before. What's it like? And the teacher just starts to go through the various qualities of the mirror. And same with the sea and same with the sky. So there's all these beautiful teachings, all these beautiful texts that are kind of talk about this. And they're not just poetic flourishes. I have found them to be really profoundly valuable. And I kind of wanted to bring a few of them to you, but also kind of talk about the qualities of these three images by way of maybe if I point them out, maybe you'll start to notice them come up, either in other teachings or just while you sit. So, let me look at my... So I have to be done with my prepared remarks at 4:15. So, let's go straight to the mirror. So, everybody in this room has seen a mirror? You know what it's like? You've checked yourself out in the mirror. Do I look okay? Can I leave the house? Great. And you go. There are these two qualities that various traditions like to highlight about the mirror and the way that they point out it's like the mind. And these two qualities are what they call salwa, which is luminosity, spontaneous thusness, and the other one is kadak, primordial purity, which is that way that the mirror is where if I show it something ugly and then take the ugly thing away, the ugly image doesn't scar the mirror in any way. I make an ugly face to the mirror and it gives it in complete faithfulness. And then I smile and it gives me the smile. And there's no kind of scarring or tinging. And the mind is just like that. Think about thoughts that you have had that you might not like to repeat to your meditation friend or meditation teacher or yourself even. I'll speak for myself. In 52 years, I have had angry thoughts, hatred, rage, murderous anger, terror, suffering, sadness, profound jealousy. Felt like my insides were turning themselves inside out. Where are they now? It's not that they're not real. Those feelings were absolutely real insofar as any phenomenon arising can be said to be real. So where are they now? They're gone. Absolutely they're gone. And this is exactly how the mind is and exactly how the mirror is. And this can be such a profound teaching that Dzogchen teachers of the past would do this. They would just hold up a mirror. Wouldn't say anything about it, wouldn't turn into a dharma talk. Just be like, look. And they'd put it away. The mirror, the way our awareness works is like a mirror. When I say, how are you? You do an introspective awareness check. You go, body's okay, right knee hurts, little tired, getting a little hungry, and then you tell me. And by the time you tell me, it's a posthumous, it's an ancient history, but it's a reflection from what you remember. In this way, your awareness is reflecting everything that arises within the field of its own awareness. But it's not indigenous to the mirror. In the same way that whatever we're experiencing, whether it's joy, anger, fear, sadness, anxiety, frustration, hunger, whatever it is, it's not the mirror. It's just the reflection of the experience. So when you notice that you're hungry, what happened? Your awareness, this vast field of 5, 6, 7, or 8 senses, depending on who you talk to, and experience arose within the field of awareness. Hunger. Like, I know what that is. Okay, hunger. Is the awareness hungry? You're hungry. But it would be silly to say that awareness is hungry. In the same way that it would be silly to say, when I do like this in the mirror, is the mirror angry? The mirror's not angry, it's just reflecting. So when we sit, when we practice, when we meditate, and as we go about our lives, how often do we mistake a phenomenon arising for who and what we are? Constantly. I'm in the car, I'm driving, somebody tailgates me. Man, I swear I'll tell you, you got to drive safe in these streets, my kid. And I instantly become angry. I take that object that's arising within the field of my experience, elevated heart rate, tension, anxiety, anger, and I become angry. That's silly. But what happened? I grabbed onto it. I forgot the primordial purity, kadak, of my own awareness. This is why when we sit, it's such an incredible opportunity to just experience the awareness as this mirror, this infinitely spacious, utterly faithful, primordially pure mirror. And when I'm sitting, it would be silly of me to get upset at experiences that are arising when I'm sitting. In the same way that the mirror doesn't get mad or doesn't push some reflections out or cling to other reflections. The mirror just faithfully reflects whatever is arising. In the same way, what if I could sit like that? What if I could just be present, not needing to be the boss, not needing to control or manage, not even picking favorites like, oh, calm and peace and bliss are welcome here, but tension and boredom and skittishness are not. That's not how awareness works. That's a good way to drive yourself crazy on the cushion as well as off the cushion. Just rest. This awareness, this vast luminous awareness, is primordially pure and totally faithful. That's what when I talk about on Monday night, I always talk about this vast luminous mind. Luminous doesn't mean it has lights, beams of light shooting out. It means that whatever awareness touches, it illuminates. Oh, this. In the same way, whatever presents to the mirror gets reflected. Oh, this. The mirror's surface is empty of the images it shows. If the mirror reflects fire, the glass doesn't get hot. If it reflects water, the glass doesn't get wet. Its nature is empty of the content of whatever it reflects. This is such a perfect way of thinking about our awareness. Here's a couple quotes, brief. The nature of the mind is like a mirror. It has the limitless capacity to reflect everything, but it is not necessarily affected by the reflections. Whatever arises in the mind, whether it is beautiful or ugly, the mind's natural clarity remains unchanged. Just as a mirror has the power to reflect any form, the nature of mind has the power to manifest any thought or emotion. But just as the reflections have no substance, the thoughts and emotions have no inherent existence. This is like a hall pass. This is like a deed, a grant, a diploma, a permit to allow whatever arises within the field of your awareness to just arise and pass away unmolested. I'm telling you to cut yourself the ultimate break and just when you sit, just sit. Car alarms, angry thoughts, memories. I invite you to, maybe you don't anyway, but if you did, I want to invite you to stop needing to nitpick and stage manage what's arising and passing away. Can you just rest and let the reflections come and go, knowing that they have no inherent existence. Questions on the mirror? All right. The second image is the ocean, the unity of stillness and movement. The ocean is a great metaphor for the relationship between essence and existence, or essence and expression. If you look at the vast ocean that we live beside, there are constantly ripples and waves and currents and white caps and all manner of, just think about how many different kinds of words I'm sure map makers and sailors have for the different phenomena on top of and inside of water. It's constant movement, tides and rip currents and etc. And yet the ocean essentially never moves. The ocean is always right there. The vast oceans just are constantly at rest. The vast depths are always exactly where they are. And there's constant movement within. But if I asked you, what are waves made of? Water. What's the ocean made of? Hey. So there's no difference between the waves and the depths, except that the waves are how the depths are expressing themselves. Milarepa was asked by one of his students who was troubled by the way their mind moved when they thought they were supposed to be meditating and the mind wasn't supposed to be moving. Milarepa spontaneously composed this beautiful song. In the vast blue and shoreless ocean, the waves and the water are one and the same. When the waves rise up, they are the ocean. When the waves subside, they are the ocean. Don't try to stop waves. Don't try to hold the stillness, for the stillness is the essence, and the waves are its radiant play. In the great seal, in the Buddha nature, there is no water and no waves as separate entities or specific category. The whole ocean only has one taste, the vast salt water. When you're sitting, sometimes mind is calm. Sometimes mind is skittish. When you have a good thought, like, oh, I'm so calm, or maybe it's even quieter than that. It's just calm. If you try to hold on to it, guaranteed, zzz, there it goes. Similarly, if you have a thought like, oh, I don't like the way this is going. I'm really skittish. I'm really, and you try to get rid of it. That's a good way to multiply. You're resisting. You're taking something as solid and then fighting against it and making it more solid. What if you could recognize that whatever your mind is doing, whatever your heart mind is doing, on or off the cushion, it's just heart mind. It has the same flavor. It's just salt water. It's just awareness. Whether it's running around, whether it's still, whether it's happy, whether it's sad. For people in meditation, we very often think that our peaceful mind is the vast ocean. That's what we're here for. That's what we come here for. We want the calm, the vast ocean. And our kind of neuroses and plans are the waves. And we try to get rid of the waves and keep the ocean. It's obviously a waste of time. Instead of trying to calm your mind, simply recognize the uniform wetness of whatever arises. Don't wait for the ocean to be flat to be happy. Realize that even the most violent waves are simply made of the same salt water as the deep, still ocean center. I want to try to convey to you how strange it would be to be mad or sad or surprised that a wave would be in the ocean. That's its home. That's where it belongs. That's what it's made of. So how strange it would be to be angry or sad or confused when a thought is happening in the mind. Where else should your thoughts be? That's where they belong. And instead of trying to cultivate a stillness that is the absence of movement, maybe stillness could be the sphere of all movement. Maybe stillness could be the vast ocean within which all movement arises and passes away. All right. Questions about or protests about the ocean? Awareness as ocean. Okay. Finally, the sky. The nature of mind is like the sky, vast and open. Ask yourself, does my mind have a center or an edge? Even if I were to ask you, hey guys, where's your mind? Go for it. Anybody. How about where would you, when you were 10, answer if somebody asks you where your mind is? It's in there, right? Which kind of makes sense. I get it. I get it. It makes sense. But anything that's an object in your awareness can't be the home of that thing, right? Like, this is an object in my mind. This isn't in my mind, or is it? Similarly, like, my body is in my mind. Look, there's my body. I can see it, I can feel it, I can smell it, I can hear it. Oh, my body is an element or an object or an arising within my awareness. So actually, my head is inside of my awareness. My 6 senses, being my 5 material senses and my heart mind, my awareness is bigger than any object within it. So the ancients loved talking about awareness as the vast sky. The nature of mind is like the sky. Clouds and winds and storms and rains and rainbows all arise within the mind. They drift through, but they don't change or obscure or block the sky's essential nature, which is this vast spaciousness. In the same way that we're all wearing clothes, and I don't mean to shock you, but everyone in the room is naked underneath their clothes. Your clothes do not destroy or contradict or eliminate your nakedness. It just temporarily covers them so I can go about town and not get arrested. In the same way that the sound doesn't destroy or block or obstruct the silence. The silence is the ground, the spacious sky within which the sound arises. It arose out of silence, and now look. It's slowly returning to its own nature, its stillness, at rest. Our thoughts and our feelings and our emotions, no matter how disturbing they might be or upsetting, and I get it. The vast majority of my, meditation practice off the cushion is catching myself in anxieties or angers or frustrations. And I take them as far too real. I take them as really solid. But look at a cloud for any length of time. It's not solid at all. It's constantly arising and unraveling and recombining and changing. Anything arising within the sky has no root. It has nowhere to cling on to. It's just arising and passing away. They abide nowhere but the sky. It's the natural home of the clouds and the rains and the skies and the rainbows. That's where it belongs, just like our thoughts and feelings and experiences. And all the while, the sun is shining, even if we don't see it. This is like another one of those metaphors where we're like, oh, the sun's not shining today. You hear it all the time. My real job, if you don't know this, is I work at Trader Joe's. And so people come through my line, and as Southern Californians, we like having 345 days of sun a year. And those rare times we don't have sun, people are like, can you believe this? What the? Like, well, it'll burn off. It'll get sunny later. Like, oh, thank God. Oh my God. And it's like, well, guess what? The sun's actually shining right now. The sun is shining, and the clouds blocking our view of it does not change that, doesn't obstruct it, doesn't prevent it from being happening. We're just not seeing it right now. And it's arising, this phenomena is arising within this vast sky. I love thinking about meditating, when I meditate, I love thinking about meditating in and as this vast, spacious awareness. That's been a really big shift for me in my practice life, is changing from thinking about practice as I'm going to pay attention really hard and strengthen my attention and my sensory clarity so that I can notice every single breath that comes in and comes out, and I won't ever get shooken off my object and start thinking about lunch or anything else. That's not, I mean, maybe that works for you. Your mileage may vary. Hasn't worked for me. What has worked is stopping picking sides and stopping trying to manage or be the boss of my experience, and just resting in and as the mirror, the sea, and the sky. And for me, especially the sky, thinking about the nature of the sky, the very nature of this infinite openness and availability, this infinite hospitality. Everything arises within the vast sky, and the sky picks no winners and losers. Clouds and rain and storm and birds and rainbows and tornadoes. Everything is allowed to arise and pass away, to unravel and recombine. The kind of bow, okay, big guy, so what? So a very great Nyingma teacher of the previous generation, named Abdul-Jum Rinpoche, liked to say, just leave your mind exactly as it is. Leave it alone. Allow whatever is arising to be there exactly as it is. As an act of supreme hospitality, like the sky, let everything come, let everything be, let everything go. There's nothing to hold on to and nothing to push away. In that vastness, the light of your own awareness shines naturally. And this is something that I've heard from many, many teachers in different traditions, and it's become kind of a smell or a sound or a thread I follow. And when I see it in another tradition or from another teacher, I'm like, ah, there it is. It's like shikantaza, the way Dogen says, just sit. No agenda, no goal. I'm going to sit to become a Buddha. Or you could just sit. So, I invite you, hopefully these metaphors and figures of speech and images and examples have been useful, or at least somewhat entertaining to you. They're yours if they speak to you. Thank you so kindly for your attention to my humble words.
Hi, I'm Jokai with Long Beach Meditation. Your gracious generosity make these programs possible. If you found this video to be of value, please consider making a donation here. If you'd like to watch more videos like this one, then you can click here. And if you want to stay up to date with Long Beach Meditation, please subscribe by clicking here. Thank you so much.